All right, we are out here on Crestwood, finally taking care of this long awaited eviction of the squatters that have been here. So, which we first discovered maybe in June, July of last year. How long do you remember as being a neighbor when they were here? Has it been a year?
They've been here at least a year, yeah.
Okay.
And it wasn't, they'd come by and tag the cars and for not being moved, and they'd move them from that side of the driveway to this side of the driveway. The garage door's been open since they've been here. It wasn't until they put the sign on the door for the end of December that they came by, whoever was living there came by and closed the garage door because the house was open. They weren't the best neighbors, you know, and all the vehicles and junk with no tags and flat tires and everything. It was. Yeah,
well, I guess if you break into a house and live there for free and you don't have a lease, you probably don't make for a good neighbor.
I'm just surprised, but yeah, I'm just surprised it takes this long to throw them out. You know, they don't have a lease, they don't belong there. Why you have to take months and months to throw somebody out is beyond me. You know.
Yeah, the squatter rules in a lot of places, parts of the country, are challenging.
Some of them are changing. Where
yeah.
You can be thrown, but I don't understand it. You know, but that's the way the government set it up. So,
it is.
Yeah.
So are you happy that this stuff's finally going to be gone?
When the vehicles are gone and it doesn't look like an abandoned junkyard, you know,
okay.
We're tired.
Well, that's on the way.
We're tired of looking at that school.
Well, that's
bus.
on the way. Yeah, we're getting all this stuff. Everything's going to be out of here in a few days.
But it's been this way for a couple of months now, and there hasn't been anybody there. Probably 3 or 4 months.
Okay. Yeah, we had to wait until, because we weren't, as long as there's personal property inside. I mean, it would have been risky if they would have came back and made a claim that, oh, you unlawfully evicted me. Well, so we had to wait, kind of wait.
You have to wait till you get your official eviction papers.
Yeah.
But,
so, all right.
No, I've done them before. For real estate agents and stuff,
Because you do the locks.
I just did the locks,
right.
Yeah. But they were throwing people out that lived there, not
right. Not that broke in.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I understand it was a big family. I mean, when we came, because we came before with the county police, and she said she had kids and someone ran out the side door and drove away when the police were here.
There had to be 6-8 people living in there.
Okay.
Easy.
Right.
Now, the elderly lady that was in there was real nice.
Okay. She probably had no idea.
Well, I don't know. The one son drove her up to the hospital, up to Southern Maryland there, in the morning.
Okay.
And she came out one morning. I came out, and she was leaning up against the car over here. And I asked her if she needed any help. And she wanted to know if I'd give her a ride up to the hospital. I was like, sure. I took her up there. But she said she was up there chatting with other people or whatever it was she was doing. But she was real nice, but she was real old, walking with a walker and everything, Okay. And it was one morning when it was freezing out here, but he had called her and said he was going to be late or something.
Okay.
I was just trying to be a nice guy.
That's a good neighbor, being neighborly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, don't let that get out.
Right.
It'll ruin my reputation.
Right, I know. Everyone will be coming by for a ride.
That's about it.
Okay.
Gene, the guy that used to own the place, was as nice as could be.
Yeah. I talked to Gene. Yeah, we work for Gene. So
he was pleasant. But I don't know who these people were. I'm glad they're gone.
Yeah, well, me too.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you empty out the mailbox?
No, we will. We'll put it right in the recycle.
I'm just hoping riffraff don't show up overnight to pick through the stuff,
Yeah, well, we got to we'll get the dumpsters out here, and then they'll fill it in and get the stuff all the way.
Yeah, no problem.
I appreciate it.
Hey,
all right, thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, and I'll give you my number too if you ever need to reach me. We used to have a sign in the front, but I guess when they broke in, and then they took the sign down and put it in the back.
Well, there was a pole there.
Yeah.
But for the longest time, there was no sign on it. Gene didn't want one on it. And my understanding is a lot of the real estate agents don't want to put anything up anymore to indicate that the house is empty, just for this reason.
For this reason,
Yeah. No, I used to do them, like I said, and I'd go into some of them, and they were tore up. I mean, the pipes all cut out of them, and then you evict the people, and the house sits empty for a year and a half or something, and they give it to the real estate agent, and by the time you get there, young people have been using it as a camp out site
Yeah.
And the insides are all tore up.
Yeah, it's pretty bad in there. We're gonna have to turn it around a little bit and get it ready, at least to rent.
I've seen some of them where the best thing you could do would be to burn it to the
Knock the
ground
house
and
down.
put up a new house. Seriously.
Well, hopefully we don't have to do that.
No, it's a nice house, a nice big house. It's all brick and everything, you know. I don't know.
All right.
I'm glad they're
All
they're
right.
gone. I'm glad they're getting rid of junk.
All right. Well, I'm Melvin. Good to meet you.
Nice
And I'll
to
let me get you my card and everything too. Hello. He was giving us the rundown on and how sorry he's sad to see your neighbor's gone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I just don't want to look at the bus anymore.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get everything cleared out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get everything cleared
They
out.
haven't been by here in about a week.
Well, good. Hopefully they don't come back anymore.
They come by and check the mail, and then every once in a while they take stuff out
They'll
of.
take something out of one. They took a tire out of one of the vehicles last
Yeah.
time. I remember.
Well, they were squatters, if you didn't know.
Yeah, well, we figured that.
Yeah, they didn't have a lease. Gene did. We had a whole trial and everything, and Gene was like, I don't even know these people. Yeah.
Well, they had all kinds of mail being delivered because sometimes it would end up in our mailbox, and it was something about a mortuary.
I don't know. I know that
coming.
what they did though, before they moved in, 4 months before they moved in, they switched the utilities in their name. So
Okay.
they didn't even. So they were getting a bill.
Yeah, 'cause
To try to
the one was an
establish some
electric bill
residency.
that ended up in our mailbox.
Yeah, but they weren't. And then so when we went to court, from the time we noticed they had moved in, and we went to court, and they were like, "No, Your Honor, we've been there, 4 months before," and they had a bill, and the judge was like, "Well, do you have a lease though?" They were like, "No, we
I
don't have a
have
lease."
a picture from the day they moved in
Okay.
because they showed up in the middle of the night. It was like the middle of March last year with a hearse, and it was like,
Really?
There was a hearse out here.
oh yeah, and it was like, what the hell?
Wow.
So I took a
Okay.
picture.
Okay.
It was a Sunday morning. But, 'cause that
Wow.
was
I'd
the-
love to see that picture.
Yeah, no,
I'd love to get that picture. If you have it, if you could text it to me,
Yeah.
that'd be
yeah.
great.
They would start working on cars in the driveway and stuff at 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Drills like like the whole deal.
Just
Well,
not
they
making
played,
noise
they
really,
played
but
football in the street at 1 o'clock in the morning.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know where they were from.
we called them the Klopex from that movie, The Burbs.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah,
Ever
yeah.
watch it, you'll understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they drove a hearse too. But
Okay. All right. What a coincidence.
yeah.
All right. Well, I'm Melvin.
Hi,
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Melvin.
Yates.
Yates.
Melvin Yates. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's Nigel, our executive producer, and Miss Wendy here. So
Yeah.
we're a real estate office. So
Okay. Yeah.
we,
Because Gene was great. You know.
yeah, him and Tanya are enjoying life down in
Oh,
Florida.
I am so sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not dealing with any of this stuff that we're doing.
Because they were only the third owners of that house.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've been here through all three owners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But,
okay. Well, we'll try to we'll get it cleaned up for you so it won't
Yeah.
be an eyesore.
it was in much better shape. Well, you
Yeah.
saw it.
All right. Well, we'll get to work
But
on.
at least all the stuff is behind the hedge.
Right.
You can't see
Yeah, you
it
can't
from
see
the
it.
If I
window.
remember correctly, I think they only ever mowed the lawn once.
Yeah.
The whole.
Yeah, when I came here before with the county police, the grass was really tall.
Yeah.
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 Well, I came around it one day and there were the 3 police cars here, and I come around the corner. It's like, oh, now what's going on? You know, you don't like that crap in front of your
Yeah.
house, you know.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, but they wouldn't do anything that day because
Yeah.
they had proof that they had been here more than 30 days.
Yeah, yeah.
And so,
Ah, okay.
if it had been less than 30
so
days,
they're professional
yeah,
squatters.
they were. Yeah, when we were in court and they had changed, when I found out they had changed the utilities over a few months before, they were getting ready.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's why I was like, oh yeah, they're good. You know,
Yeah.
and
There were the police here. I guess if you were with the police, it was you, and I think there might have been somebody else.
yeah, that day the police. Nigel was here that day when we were here with the police. Yeah.
I just.
Yeah, we did a whole series on it,
Oh,
a squatter
okay.
series. When we went to court, we got her running out of it, leaving the courthouse, getting into yeah.
Yeah.
Probably one of those trucks. One of those
I don't know. I don't know where they went, but like I said,
I don't think
into another.
Yeah, I don't think they're too far away because they manage to show up. When they do come to check the mail, it's usually within 10 minutes after the mail lady comes by. So I think they're somewhere close by because, you know, the mail comes anywhere from 2:30 to 5 o'clock.
Hmm.
So,
Okay. All right.
well, there's a
Well,
couple of other empty houses.
Yeah.
there,
Well,
but-
hopefully hopefully they're not in one of those. So.
Yeah. No.
All right. As long as they don't come back to this one.